Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to make your future now the Neville Goddard way. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I got an email from a subscriber who said, Tom, I get the idea what Neville's talking about when he says make the future now. I understand that through my imagination, I imagine my wish as already a fact in that dimensionally larger reality. I go to the end. I imagine that it's done. I get all that, and that faith is a feeling. And that faith is the feeling, faith is the evidence. I understand all that. But then what happens when I notice that it's not physically manifested in 3D reality? As I go about my day, I notice that it's not physically manifested. What happens then? Well, guys, we're going to unpack that today and more. Here's the thing, guys, and this is big. It's not that seeing it not manifested yet in 3D reality is okay. That's not what's keeping your desire in the future. Hear this. It's okay to notice that it's not manifested yet in 3D reality. It's only your belief that you can't be happy and fulfilled here and now while it's taking form and manifesting in 3D reality that keeps it in the future. Hear this distinction. This is huge. So it's not the fact that you notice it, that it's not that physically manifested yet in 3D reality, because it isn't. It's the idea that you can't, it's your belief that you can't be happy and feel fulfilled right here and right now and be excited about that it's coming and that it's forming and it's manifesting in 3D reality. Wow, that's big, right? That's what keeps it in the future. Right? Your belief that you can't be happy right here and now while it's taking form. Wow, that's huge. Let's unpack it a little bit more. So making your future now. Neville talks about this, right? Making it real here and now, right? That is the evidence. It's about believing it in, right? Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Neville's very clear here. Faith is the feeling. Feeling is the evidence. They're all one. Faith equals the feeling equals the evidence. But hear this. So noticing that it's not physically manifested yet is okay. It's okay to notice that, right? You can't just shut your eyes and run away from it. Notice it. Oh, it's not here yet, but I know it, but here's the key. It's only when you believe that you cannot be happy here and now. Well, it takes physical form in 3D and keeps it in, that's what keeps it in the future. Think about this. When there's two ways of going about things. There's the old way and there's the aligned way. The aligned way is what we're talking about. Right? Neville Goddard and all the spiritual greats talk about the aligned way, right? Manifesting in by belief and faith and going to the end and believing that it's already yours because it is. That's the aligned way. But what's the old way? Well, the old way works for something, works for a limited amount of things in 3D reality, right? You set a goal and you go about achieving that goal, but you get excited about that. You know that it's leading towards the end. You're not worried, that you're not concerned because it's not manifested in 3D reality, because you know it will be as you go about and work on that goal, as you accomplish that goal, as you knock down obstacles and struggle. We're talking about the same thing. There's two different ways. Let's unpack this a little bit more. So let's go over the old way. The old way, you set a goal. The old way, you plan. You write down your goal. You write down the steps. You determine the how, the when, and the where. You get right at the details, right? And then you complete the steps and you achieve your goal. And while you're doing that, a bunch of obstacles come up and struggles that you threw on your path. You created them and you overcome them. Right? And then it takes time, and then it takes a lot of energy and effort, and then you're telling people that you're working hard, that it takes a lot, and wow, these obstacles, you couldn't believe what I went through to accomplish this goal. And then you write a book about it, how you accomplished all this because you struggled and you strived and you effort. It took time, the odds were against you, right? Against all odds, you created it. Hear this. But at the same time, while you're doing this, you're excited about it. You're excited because you know you're going to muscle through it in 3D reality, that you've determined the details. You're confident that it will manifest because you're creating it by taking these steps. right? You're not looking at 3D reality and saying, oh my God, it isn't here yet. You know you got to follow these steps. It's your belief, though. Here's the big thing. It's not the steps. It's not the process. It's not the writing it down that manifests it. Hear this. This is big. It's your belief in the steps, in the process, that manifests the goal. It gets back to belief again. Right? Everything's created from within. I don't care if you're going to go through this struggle and striving. It's all created with. It's your belief that it takes steps. It's your belief that you've got to write it down. It's belief that you have to achieve it physically, that you have to overcome obstacles, that it takes time and energy and effort. It's your belief that manifests, not the steps in the process itself. Those are just there. You created those. Hear that. Now let's hit the aligned way. Well, the aligned way says you set your attention, your desire. You can't help but desire things. You can't help but set intentions, right? That's not even hard work. You just have intentions, right? You just determine the what. Then the how, the when, the where, all those details are taken care of by all that is, by taking care of that field of infinite possibilities. That God consciousness does all the rest. All the rest is handed off to God. God brings it. God determines the how, the when, the where, all of it, right? Why? Because you're believing it. You already are it. You already have it. It's a sure thing. It's instant. It already exists, right? It's effortless. It's your belief. It's already done in that manifests it in 3D. It's your belief that it's already done. So notice that it's okay to notice that it hasn't manifested in 3D. It's the same thing on a physical level. If you notice that it's not done, but you can still be excited about the end and live in that end. Hear this. That's a big distinction. We get so tripped up by looking at 3D and seeing that it's not here yet. It sends us into a tailspin when really, if you do it the old way, the hard way, the limited way, by the way, right? You're limiting God here. You only have so many things you can accomplish. But yet you're still excited because you know you'll reach it. Well, it's the same thing here, and it's without all the effort. It's without all the work, and it's unlimited. Hear this. When God does it, when God takes care of the how, where, and when, it's unlimited. God has no limitations. Anything, all is possible, always. But here, under the old way, you're setting the limits by determining the how, the when, and the where. That's exactly how it will roll. You've limited it to a specific process based on your past conditioning. And you're creating a future that's much like your past. Wow, that is huge, guys. So, but here's the key. The old way, both the old way and the aligned way, bring you your goal and desire in most cases, right? The old way, not all the time, but sometimes. But they both bring your desire into the now by being excited and thrilled about it right here and right now. Hear this. The way you get there in the aligned way is the same way that you get there in the old way, by being excited and thrilled about it. All the other stuff in the old way is manufactured. The goal setting, the steps, the struggle, none of that's needed. I just go to just being excited and thrilled about it. That's the quickest way to get there. And then God brings it to you. God surprises you, right? Wow. The old way of focusing on the how, when, and where limits the infinite. Hear this. You can't possibly limit the infinite, but you're limiting the infinite because you're limiting it in the old way on how, when, and where. You're deciding the limits based on old ideas, right? Old past memories, right? That's why it takes longer, it costs more, and it is harder. Because you're relying on yourself. You're setting the conditions, and you're setting the limited conditions. And then you're putting yourself under pressure and throwing obstacles on the path so you can accomplish those and get over and accomplish it against all odds. Hear this. That's why sometimes it doesn't even manifest, right? You don't accomplish your goals. Right? Sometimes that's why though, right? So the aligned way, here's the cool thing about the aligned way. In the aligned way, you unleash infinity. You unleash God, all that is, to surprise and delight you. It's all bets are off. Anything's possible. That's where miracles come from. You don't get miracles under the old way. You get some routine goals accomplished. But in the aligned way, anything's possible, right? This is what the scripture said. With people, this is impossible. Hear this. This is what Jesus said. With people, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. That's what Jesus meant, right? When you don't limit the infinite, right? When you don't limit God. Wow, that's powerful. So here's the big thing, guys. You cannot make your future now or be that ideal version of yourself while waiting for it or expecting it. Hear this. This is big, right? Because the one thing, what it implies when you're noticing it in 3D, you start having a feeling that you're waiting for it, that you're expecting it's not there yet, and that you're expecting it, but you got anxiety about it. It's not an excited and a confident expectation. It's a worried and an anxiety-filled expectation, right? You're expecting it to come a specific way. How, when, and where. Hear this, right? You can't do that. If you're waiting for it and expecting it to come a specific way, a specific how, when, and where, while you're trying to do the aligned way, that limits it, right? So you can't make your future now or be that ideal version of yourself while you're waiting for it, expecting for it to come in a specific way. God is going to surprise you. God is going to delight you. Right? It only comes in a specific way under the old way. And in that case, it's exactly as you predicted. You predicted the future based on the past. This is the old Newton way of cause and effect. Right? Right? But here, guys, the aligned way, you're aligned with your desire and your new reality within. And then it can come in it's an infinite amount of ways that it can come to you, right? In both cases, it is, but hear this, in both cases, both the old way and the aligned way, it is who you are that attracts and manifests it in 3D. It's not the steps in the old way. It's not the steps and processes and all those struggles that manifest it. It's both cases, it comes from within. It comes from who you are and who you're being. That attracts and manifests it in 3D, always, right? It's not what you do, right? The doing are effects. It's not what you do. It doesn't matter how you plan it, what steps you take. It's all created within. The doing are just effects. They're effects of your state of being within. They're the effects of who you are. You will be moved by that dimensionally larger reality in an effortless way along the path of least resistance. Wow, that's big. The aligned way follows the path of least resistance. Exactly. It follows that path. Stop messing with infinity and all that is. You're messing with it when you're trying to determine the how, when, and where. When you start stressing, waiting for it and expecting it to come a specific way, and then something happens and you notice in 3D reality that hasn't manifested, or you notice something contrary, that, oh, you didn't expect it, you didn't expect that. Don't expect anything. Expect the unexpected with joy and gratitude. Wow, that's the ultimate state of alignment. That's the ultimate state of receptivity, is expecting it with gratitude and open arms, right? Expecting the unexpected with gratitude and love and joy. That is the ultimate state of receptivity. That's the aligned way, right? So, don't try to control the process. That's the old way, right? Trying to manage and predict the outcome in the details. Because you know what? You're going to get that. You're going to get something based on past condition. You're going to build a new house with old bricks. Right? Someone said that. I read that. Some spiritual teacher said that. But the best you can do is build a new house with old bricks. Instead, allow it to unfold and surprise and delight you. Allow God to bring it to you in a totally unexpected way, using all the resources of infinity to bring it to you. Right? Manage your inner world. That's the aligned way. Right? Feeling of wish fulfilled as the real thing. Right? Coke had that in the 1970s. Coke had that campaign, right? The real thing. The aligned way is the real thing. The aligned way is that feeling fulfilled as the aligned way. To the point that feel it as your wish fulfilled as the real thing, to the point that you become so aligned and immersed in your wish fulfilled that it becomes the real thing, whether it manifests or not. Hear this. This is big. So the aligned way, feeling of wish fulfilled as the real thing, feel it so much as the real thing, that to the point that you become so aligned and immersed in your wish fulfilled, you become so identified with that new reality and that new version of yourself that it becomes the real thing, whether it's manifested or not. That's big. That is how to make the future now the Neville Goddard way. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen, our website at tomkaren.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, with great love, this is Tom. See you soon.